This week, guys, I'm doing a video all about Skadi, the great giantess goddess, how she can aid us at this time of the year. So if you're interested, carry on watching. Hi guys, Tuva here. This video is going to be slightly different. It's a chat really, but also letting you see how a great goddess like Skadi can have an effect and aid you at this time of the year. Because no matter where you live, there's always going to be a part of the year where we are pushed to our limits, be it physically or mentally. Now, when I first met Skadi, I wasn't used to that type of energy, and it was very an independent type of energy. And I've always been one that's had people around me, friends around me, family, etc. And I found it really difficult to be on my own or do things on my own. I would need somebody with me if I wanted to go and do a ritual in the woods. I would need somebody with me to do anything really, because that's what I was used to. And in the winter months when we are struggling with light, but where I live, it doesn't get a lot of snow. It's not an abundance of icy weather, but we get an abundance of rain, and it is constant. And of course the clouds are dark. We don't get many days where there's sunshine, and if we do, it's bitterly cold. So to go out, you've always got to be dressed up against the wet weather. I personally would prefer snow, and I know snow brings its problems, but when snow is floating down onto your head, it don't seem to do the damage. When rain is coming down on your head, you know all about it. You are drenched to the skin and everything is wet for the rest of the day. And so cold, wet rain, darkness and overcast skies is not a pretty sight, and it doesn't make your surroundings look very nice either. And if you want to go into the woods, you better take Wellington boots and a raincoat, because you're going to come out completely coated in mud, drenched to the skin. And so you can see over a period of time, which we do tend to have long winters, because our weather system, we might get maybe 6 weeks in the summer of really hot weather, but the rest of the time it's raining or it's chilly or it's icy cold. And so it affects you mentally. And if you are a spiritual person and find you cannot get out into nature, or you cannot do the things that you can do in the summer months, after a little while it can have a profound effect on not only your mental state but your physical state as well. Now, when Skadi came into my life, it was like a breath of fresh air. She was an amazing energy to be. I'm going to hold this. I feel the need to hold a light. Now, I'm going to hold this because this is one of the things I want to talk to you about. It was a very miserable day. It was dark and we had thunderstorms and it was dark out there. And I just thought to myself, I hate winter. I don't even want to get out of bed because it's not worth it. And I heard a voice internally telling me to pull myself together, get out of that bed and start to look at the world, start to look at my surroundings. So I knew I was being told by some form of deity. Now, I normally work with Freya, and so this was a different feeling. It was a different type of energy. and she came through very strong, and she had a few things to show me. And the first thing was to stop looking at things in a negative way. We all do that, guys. We all look at the negative. It's just the way humans are built. We all do it. When you're a child, and that is what she taught me, look at the children. Look at how they react to the same things that you react to. So I went out for a walk, and I went to where there was a nursery, and I knew they came out around 12 o'clock. Now this particular day it was pouring with rain, and there was puddles all around, and these puddles were also being rained on as well. It was wet, it was well wet and cold. These children came running out full of energy, really happy, with their little Wellington boots on, and they were jumping in the puddles and they were laughing hysterically, well, really enjoying what they were getting the leaves off the floor and rubbing them in each other's faces and laughing with joy. And the mums were saying, stop it, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. And I saw what Skadi was trying to show me, and that was enjoy your life. Enjoy. Doesn't matter that it's raining, so you get wet, so you get cold. You'll be going home. You'll be able to get warm again and dry. But look at the rain. Look at it close up. And that is what I started to do. I started a journal, and I wrote in it every time I felt fed up about the weather or time of the year. I looked in my journal and I wrote under the day and the moon phase and anything I felt was needed, and I wrote how I felt, and then I wrote how Skadi brought it through to me that I should be trying to do. And the first step was to get to grips with the weather, whatever it was, for it is nature and it is all part of nature. You cannot have perfect worlds. You cannot have perfect nature. So that's what I did. I went out to the local park and stood in the rain like an idiot. No umbrella, no raincoat. And I stood there. The first time I did it, I didn't like it at all. And I found myself hiding under the trees. I felt a little bit disgraced, and I came back and I wrote it down. When I meditated on this candle, in fact, I felt she was saying to me, small steps, my child, small steps. So the next time it was very windy, and we did actually have some snow, and I thought, okay, I'll go out in it again. And so I walked around the streets. I went to the local shopping centre, and there were people hurrying past, getting out of the weather, going into the shop, standing there complaining and moaning about the weather. And I went out, and I was with my daughter, and I just went, yay! And I started to grab the snow out of the sky and rub it in my face, and my daughter looked at me as if I was mad. And I looked at her and I said, remember what it was like when you was a child? And she started to join in, and before long people were smiling, they were laughing, and they were finding it extremely funny. I went home and my spirits were completely lifted. I felt totally different and even excited, and I hadn't had to do anything but accept. And this is what Skadi brought through to me. It was all about accepting or understanding where we're at, what needs to happen, and how we can live with it. But not just live with it, enjoy it and be part of it. So it's snowing, you go out and you make a snowman, or you go out and lay in it and do a snow angel. I'm sure many people have done that where there's an abundance of snow. But of course in this country the snow didn't last long and it was back to the drenching rain again, and this was something I had a big problem with. I do not like rain. And so the next time I had a dream, and this is strange guys, Skadi will often come to you in dreams because I think it's easier for you to be able to acknowledge her in your dream state. And the dream I had was all about learning why we have rain, what is the use of rain, what is necessary from rain. And so I woke up knowing that I needed to learn about rain and why we have it and what's so good about it. And so I did some study on water in general, the way the world is with water, and the fact that this world is lacking a lot of water that it used to have. And so when we do get an abundance of rain, it fills our reservoirs up, it helps to cleanse the earth, it helps to feed the trees and all the flowers, and it's something that is very necessary, and so also good for us. The next time I went out in the rain, even though I still had an umbrella, I looked at it in a different way. I looked at it as if it was sacred, that we needed it, and that necessity outweighed my horror of it. And so I'd go out regularly in the rain, and I would not worry about umbrellas. I'd let myself get wet. And so I would stand under the rain and I would call out to Skadi, and I asked her to show me all she had to give. And over a period of maybe 2 years, she was with me every winter, like clockwork. The same time, it'd be November, and she would turn up, and out of the blue she would be there giving me pictures of how she lived, pictures of her place, and even path workings to her place. And this filled me with a new sense of joy, a longing to be part of winter. So guys, you can see that it's not all doom and gloom like everybody makes it out to be. The other point was to become independent. Skadi is a very independent goddess, and she doesn't take no from anybody. She is forthright. She is renownedly known as the most terrible of all the giants, the most vicious. Her name means smite, and so we can understand that to be working with her, her energy is very abrupt, but it's also very understanding. And so once you get used to those energies, you can learn from it. And she taught me how to become independent. And the first step was to pick something that I find very difficult, the first thing, and voice that I can do it, and then make plans to do it. So the first thing for me was to go out alone on a trip, not to do anything special, but just to journey, go somewhere and then come home. And once I felt comfortable in doing that, she would add on little things to do. And I got all these instructions, guys, not through just thinking, but through dreams, through path workings and meditations. That is very important. To get any help, you need to be able to visualize and meditate and all these things. I work with the flame because it aids me and it brings me through to where I need to go. So it might work for you too, but also to sit and to just be quiet. And I often talk about this. This is to be in the quiet. There's nothing quite like it. The middle of the night is one of the best times to do it. But when you want help from deity, you need to ring the bell. Ring the bell. This lets deity know that you are open for them to come and aid you and be with you. And so started my journey with Skadi. And it is a very personal journey. Everybody has a different way of working with her. There are other things that you can do with Skadi, and there are correspondences. Her colour is white or black. Now it's mainly black, but I add the white in because of the snow. So it's up to you what you want to put there, but I like to add in silver as well, because it's like the glistening snow as it drops. And I just find that I relate to that. The incense that I particularly use is dragon's blood, because it is of protection, and Skadi is a protector of her area, of her mountain, of her place, and she's also the protector of the wolves that are with her, and she is the sister of the wolves. So in fact I do have a video, I'll leave the link above, that you can watch all about her. You can also use myrrh and pepper. Now these are like things that push things away. Myrrh is a very unusual smell, not everybody takes to it, but it's also very good. But pepper will stop anything negative coming. The plant would be anything with thorns in that grows at this time of the year, so be careful how you pick it, but nice for decorations around this time of the year also. Working with her is very good around the new moon, because the moon is only showing very, very slightly. And it is also a time of reflection, not so much for doing spell work. So it's a time to reflect and grow and learn. So a good time to be in connection with her. The day of the week is Saturday, and Saturday is a good day because some people work at the weekends, but for those that don't, they're off and they've got time on their hands. Now if you're going through something that is almost like you want to get even with whatever it is, she will teach you, Skadi will teach you how you can do it, because she knows how to. If you know the story of Skadi and her father, that is a story that is in my other video that you might like to. So yes, she will teach you how to get your vengeance, or your getting things sorted, the justice that you're after. And she's very good at that, so that's another good point to Skadi. She will also encourage you, as she knows what it's like to have to live on very little, because at that time of the year the food source is very small, and so with her she will cover everything with her cloak with snow. She is okay. She knows that others are limited by this. When she goes out on her snowshoes, she is taking the snow everywhere, because that is her energy. And so she knows wherever she covers that, the people that live there will have difficulties. So she wants to teach you how to conserve before this happens, so that you have enough to get you through. And that is a concern of hers, which is showing her tendencies to be very understanding of our needs. The other thing I liked to do, and that was to write an invocation, something that could put you in a mindset to be able to connect with her. And so I do this ritual normally and say these words, and it just seems to help me bond with her. And the words are: Hail, goddess of snow and ice, wife of Njord, the sea god, showing us how your cloak spreads white snow over the land and beyond. but only fools would think all is dead. For you show us closely the things that still exist. The icy wind, your breath of life. Teach us how we should touch cold life. Stay close with us. Ask this night, Lady of my heart and soul, keep me safe. I ask you now, come be with me, Skadi, children with joy within. The snow, the rain, and seeing it through. Our joy of life is here with you. Hail, Skadi, Queen of the snow and ice. I bow before you. Hail. So there you go, guys. Skadi to me is a beautiful goddess, one that is very abrupt but also very, as I said, understanding and listens to what your concerns are, as well as what she thinks you should know. And so you can do anything you want to do. She will show you you are an independent soul, someone who has their own ideas, and that's what she wants you to know: how to love like a child, how to grow as a soul. And that is Skadi, great goddess Skadi. And there I'm going to leave it, guys. So hope you enjoyed. Thank you to my new subscribers, I really do appreciate it. Thank you also for watching this video, all those that are always with me. And so wherever you are, whatever time of day, night or evening it may be, I wish you the best ever. House of the Lang.